In today's video, we're going to review your open source projects. I want to review it from how welcoming it is, how inclusive it is. A lot of people ask me, how can they get more stars, more forks for their projects? I always reply with, how easy is it for people to understand what your project does? A good project has an excellent README where it clearly states what the goal of the project is. Maybe has a screenshot at the front as well, and uses branches and pull requests and GitHub actions and releases all correctly to make the project run smoothly. If that sounds interesting, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe below if you're interested in getting involved more in open source and accelerating your career so you can get the job, project and money that you deserve. On our community GitHub Organization, which you can join by the way, if you raise an issue asking to be invited to the organization, we'll send you an invite. We have a support repo where people can create issues with different labels. As you can see behind me, I filtered by the open source review. We're going to have a look at some of these repositories and see how inclusive they are. Let me go right to the bottom and we'll start with the oldest one first. So this is the project Scoop. Thank you for submitting your repository for review. I will write my thoughts in the issue. So when I first come to this repository, the thing that jumps out to me is the last commit. The person who's actually the project owner, the project maintainer, doesn't have a profile picture. And to me, that doesn't look very professional. It doesn't have to be you. It could be a cartoon character of yourself. It could be a picture of your pet. Something that's fairly unique to you is the important part. And if I have a look along the top, you've got 2 branches. That sounds good. You have no tags or releases yet. So to me, it feels like there isn't a version that you're happy with. So if you've just got a prototype version, and do mark it as v0.1, create that release. You have no description. Really make use of description and topics. You know, some of your topics could be the technologies you're using, it could be something else, but use that and do write one sentence about what the project is about. So the next thing that we're going to look at, next thing that I always jump to is the actual README file that's displayed below, even before I look at the code files. You've got a badge up here, which I think is quite nice. You could probably put the badge right at the top. A lot of people put the badge as the first line in the README, so it just stands out rather than trying to kind of mix in amongst text. You've got the requirements. I would put the requirements as bullet points, replace it with your API key, that sounds good. And you've got screenshots. So I would probably put the screenshots at the top. I personally would have it, so maybe the screenshot is first, badge, screenshot, and then go into the requirements. Because then, not all the screenshots, you could put further screenshots down the bottom, but what I would suggest is picking your best screenshot and putting it at the top. That's the one that's going to hook people into looking further into your project. Definitely pick one screenshot that is your most favorite, maybe something like this that has more to it. Put that at the top, and then you could put all the other screenshots underneath. The other thing I would suggest is looking at this. I'm not an iOS developer, but I have a feeling that .xcode proj is a bit like IntelliJ's .idea folder. I don't think that should be committed personally, and maybe the workspace as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. I would think they shouldn't be committed. And you've got 0.3% of Ruby. That's quite interesting. I wouldn't expect to see that in a Swift project. Is that by mistake? I'll be curious to know. Leave a comment below and let me know. And if we go along, if I was to dig deeper into your project to see if I wanted to get involved in it, either contribute or use it, there's no issues. I'd be a bit nervous about that. There's no closed issues, so it doesn't feel like you're tracking the work that you're doing. So it's not being very welcoming. Same with pull requests. I'm guessing actions aren't used, project boards aren't used, wikis not used. And so if I have a look at the Insights tab and we go community, there's still a lot more work for you to do. Description, as I mentioned at the beginning, code of conduct is really important. And GitHub has a couple of templates that you can use. There are some open source code of conducts that I highly recommend using. Contributing file, issue templates and pull request templates. Those last 2 can come later on, but it's important to get the others done, especially if you want to get more stars and more forks and more people contributing to your project. Hopefully that helps. Thank you so much for submitting your project, and let's move on to the next one. So let's look at this next project that we're going to review. First impressions, there's 7 issues that are open. I'm liking that. It shows the project has some activity. The last commit was 2 days ago. Again, I'm really liking that. It shows that the project is alive and the project maintainer has profile picture. It does look very healthy. There's a project board as well, looking good. And there's one tag as well too. So that's, again, first impressions looking really good. In the README, it does have an animated GIF, which is really nice. It does make me want to look further into the project and see what it's about. And then it's got how to contribute and using the application. I would probably switch switch those two around. It's not a big deal because it's not a massive file, but I would probably say people probably want to use the application first before contributing. So I recommend putting it in order of how people would use the project. It's 100% in Python. You've got lots of contributors, looks really good. You've got a description, you've got topics, loving that, really good. Let's have a look at issues. Got labels on your issues. This is looking really good. And you've got a pinned issue at the top. Really loving that. It's well done. Some of them are assigned, some of them have comments. I like that. No open pull requests, which is fine, but you do have lots of closed pull requests. Really liking that. And I always recommend people to look at the closed pull requests and see the conversations that's happened on the pull request. No actions yet, which is fine. And there's a project board. Let's have a look. Project board of different columns. Really like that. It shows what's in progress at the moment as well. And they're using the wiki. This is great. We've got explanations on how to do the sorting. This is really good with diagrams and links to third parties. Definitely well thought out. Let's have a look at the Insights tab and the community. Okay, so there's a few things missing in this section, which is fine. It's easily fixed. So missing a code of conduct and a contributing file. So it looks like you've got lots of contributors already. So I highly recommend adding a contributor file too, because then GitHub will highlight that and make it easier for people to discover it. All in all, looking like a really healthy project. Next project is CodeTreat. Let's have a look. So first impressions, looks really good. I see there's 2 issues open. The last commit again was 2 days ago. So it showed me that the project is still active. So I'm going to dig a bit deeper. Right, it's got a description, loving that. It's got a link to the project again, which is great. It's got topics, brilliant, license, no releases yet. So I suggest maybe having some releases. Let me make that note. Project looks great. And if we scroll down, it's got a logo, love that. Really nice README with the badges under the logo. Looks really good. And a 1-line strap line, straight to the point. It's got the features that it has as well. Really liking that. And I like how you broke it down into sections. You've got the requirements, it's Node. It'd be really good to actually have a version maybe. What version of Node is required? How to set up local development, you've got the steps, which is brilliant. I'm loving the use of icons, that's great too. I think that's really well done. I think that looks really, really good. So let's dig a bit deeper. It's mostly written in TypeScript. Let's have a look. You've got 2 branches, excellent. Got develop branch as well. We have a look at issues. Issues are 20 days ago. One's got a label. Again, still looking good. 1 closed. Issues don't need to be used that much because there are almost 300 commits and only in total 3 issues. I'd say use issues more. Use issues more. Command with the project board. 11 pull requests. This looks like some have gone through pull requests. Some have failed builds but still been merged. That happens. That's okay. And you've got your different workflows that run here. Project board is not used. And if we go to the insights and community, let's see what it suggests. Again, code of conduct and contributing file. Let's add that. Again, looking really good. I really like that. I really like how it's consistent, the naming convention of the files and folders. It looks really good. Yeah, I've only got a small bit of feedback for it. This project is looking very good and keep up the great work. Okay, the next project. No issues, there's no number next to issues, so I am a little bit thinking about that. There are 8 branches though. I think that's quite a high number for a small project. Okay, they're mostly Dependabot, so we can forget about those. We shouldn't really forget about those, but we'll forget about those for this video. It has a description, which is a little bit long, but that's fine, it's okay. It explains what it's doing. There's no topics, no release, no link. It'd be good to see if there was a link. Oh, and visit, the link's at the bottom, so I'd highly recommend putting the link in the actual repo. Let me make a note of that. There's no screenshot in the README. There's no badges, no screenshots. The README is not very enticing, so it's quite hard to make someone want to look further into the project. Is it a project they should contribute to? Is it a project that they should get involved in? Is it a project they should use? The README isn't very enticing. You need to make it what are the requirements? What do you need? Do you need Node installed, npm installed? What browser do you need? Are there any screenshots? It'd be really useful if you could make it more involved. There's loads of great examples out there, and I think it would be good to steal some ideas from them. The last update was a long time ago, 17 months ago, so it shows me that it's not a very active project. Someone is less likely to star it, someone is less likely to contribute to it or to use it. So we have a look at the issues. No open or closed issues, so they have never been used. That's not so great. And the same with pull requests. It's more dependable using that. No actions, no projects. And if we go to the community tab, recommend definitely the code of conduct and a license. A license is really important. Code of conduct. A lot of people think by not adding a license is you're giving everyone free reign to do whatever they want, and you don't care what they do with it. I used to think this too, but actually by not having a license, you're adhering to the GitHub's terms of service, and that might work or might not work with what you want. So I highly recommend adding a license. Some of the popular open source licenses are MIT and GNU GPL. If you'd like to see a video on licenses, leave a comment below and I will do a video on licenses and comparing them. I'd like to thank everyone for letting me review their projects on a video. This is great for me to learn to see what other people are doing. I've seen some amazing projects and I've got some ideas that I want to include in my project. I really hope that it's helped you think about how you can make your project more inclusive and make it more welcoming for new people to use it and get involved. If you would like your open source project or portfolio reviewed, go to our support repo in our GitHub organization and raise an issue, and I'll review it on a live stream or video very soon. And you can join another 230 people in our GitHub organization. So do raise an issue if you would like to join our organization as well. I mentioned we have Discord, but we also have beta features on GitHub. We have this discussions tab. If you see that your repo will not have this, but our repo does, where people can have discussions on GitHub. Discussions are like issues, but on steroids, because you can have threaded conversations just like a forum. And once again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps support my channel, and subscribe if you haven't before. And if you have any friends that you think would be interested in this video, then share it with them. I'll see you in the next video. So in our community repo, in our GitHub community organization, which you can join by the way by on our GitHub organization, because we're gonna have a look at some of these. I will give you some feedback, and we will log it as an issue on your repository. No, we will. Is a bit like intelligent, a bit like in. Oh no, I need to put in the comments sometime. Again, really nice. It does, which is really nice, really nice. And there's no.